Hey guys, Fire here from InDepth Gaming, bringing you a game review. This time we're checking out 50 Years. This game was developed by Alexander Golovkin and published by Zydelon, and releases on November 11th, 2020. I'm afraid we don't quite have a price yet for this game, but being a Zydelon game, they usually average between the $5 and $10 price point, so I would kind of expect the game to be somewhere in that price point. So what is 50 Years? It's a turn-based strategy game where when you load into the game and start a new game, you can choose from the difficulty levels you would like. Let's go into very hard, why not? And then you basically choose your nation, civilization, whatever you want to call it. So if you could be anywhere from the Americans to the Greeks to the Celts to the Romans to the Egyptians, and each one of these, nations, factions, give you a different boost or bonus in the game. What we'll do in this gameplay is we'll start off a game as the Greeks, which is going to be a nice little advantage to where we'll get a bonus building starting the game out. Now, you can do quite a bit in this game. The way the game kind of works is you pseudo manage an army, your basically civilization, through constructing buildings, collecting resources throughout the years, and trying to defeat other nations and last as long as you can. The goal of this game, get through 50 years. Once you pass year 50, you'll complete the game and be done. So you'll immediately start loading into fights and try to take out all the enemies as fast as you can. If you die in the game, your game is over. So if you do run into struggle, don't be afraid to tick down that difficulty level. So we'll drop it to normal this time, and let's try a different nation since we obviously got our butts kicked really quickly. So the Japanese nation here. Now, one thing we want to make sure we do in the game is you need to very well and very strategically micromanage your resources. So where do you put your money, and what are the next units you're going to start to develop? The way you develop currency is by having peasants. Peasants will generate money for you every turn, and then your different units such as swordsmen, archers, minotaurs, things like that will generate other enemies and units that you can use later in the game. You'll encounter I'd say probably more than a dozen different enemies that you could fight and encounter throughout the game, and your goal is to, like I said, progress to that 50 years using the strategy that you come up with. Now, playing as all the different nations, you'll get a lot of different options that come up, from the buildings that you construct, that'll allow you to get different units, to running on scouting missions to try to get additional bonuses throughout the game. But for the most part, it's create your units, create your army, and then go into the next year and continue your fighting and seeing how far you get. If you lose a fight, your game resets, you are done, it is over. Do not pass go, do not try again. However you kind of want to word that in your own head. So what we'll do here is we want to just showcase a little bit of the combat mechanics, how progressing and upgrading goes. A good tip I would recommend is try to make sure you upgrade your peasants while making sure you have enough swordsmen in those early 20 years. The peasants are really what's going to help you progress through the game. And then when you get into the scouting area, take advantage every time one of these sections unlock. It gets one kind of dot closer, so to speak, for every year you go. So the first thing you'll encounter is this chicken devil, who will give you two options: a transformation scroll or a chance to kill a random enemy at the beginning of the game. Or you can just say, I don't want to deal with that, and send them away and get none of the bonuses. I recommend, if you're trying to do the achievements without following a guide, to definitely get the one where a random enemy will die off at the beginning of the game. It's going to come in handy as you progress later throughout the game. Now, what's really cool with the game is, beyond just having to micromanage your building and resources, the game also offers another option when it comes to playing the game. There are some pseudo-custom game modes that do make the game more difficult in the way you play, and you have to pseudo-adapt. As well as, if you notice in battle, if you become encountered with an option, you can actually bring your peasants into battle and risk their lives to try to fight. So we'll call in two of our peasants here, and obviously we're going to take this battle out no problem, but there's a chance that they could die. So it's one of those risk versus rewards, do you think you can do it pseudo things. And then you'll sometimes get lucky if you have the correct option selected, where if you encounter one guy and you have an option to randomly kill him, they'll just die off. As far as the strategy and fun level in this game, I know Dream and I were playing this game, and I got very lucky, honestly, when it came to playing the game in my first playthrough. I think I figured out a rather good approach to getting all 50 years done. We actually created an achievement guide where you can knock out all 1000 gamer score in this game in under 18 minutes. As far as the achievements though, the game's not super difficult. If you want to use a guide, we'll have that linked at the end of the video. But outside of using a guide, it's actually a really fun game. The achievements aren't overly difficult. Getting to that 40 and 50 year mark will probably be the two hardest ones, depending on the strategy you use and approach with. There's achievements related to the faiths that you pick. There's 5 different faiths. You just have to pick each one of them one time, and you could pick all of them in one game mode. Here's the faith beliefs that you pick, and each one of them have a pseudo tier progression. I'm a big fan of the Pantheon of Fat Chickens because you get chicken zombies later in the game, and I like zombies, so yeah. But aside from that, once you get far enough and you start to have units die, once your unit dies off and you don't have any more units in a battle, like I said, it's game over. It is a permadeath game mode, so we're sending our one unit in here. He's not going to beat all these guys. He's going to die. We only made it 20 years. So the challenge is can you make it to 50 years? And then just to showcase a little of those special game features I was talking about, you can do these custom game modes where you can only get one swordsman, or there's a ton of zombies, or a plague strikes you every certain amount of years, and it really adds a lot more to the game. Or, an easier mode to where you only need to make it to 25 years to win. Note, you won't get the 50 year, or 30 year, or 40 year achievements doing that. But yeah guys, this is 50 years. It's a actually rather extremely fun turn-based strategy game that, kind of came out of nowhere, and we were really excited when it showed up and we got a chance to review it. As far as a pseudo score, I'm honestly going to give this game an easy 8.5 out of 10. It is a ton of fun, and beyond just the game releasing here on November 11th, if you guys want a chance to win a free copy of the game, the developers did hook us up with a couple extra copies. If you join our Discord, we'll have a link down in the description. We'll be giving away some free copies of the game once it releases. But aside from that guys, if you liked the video, let us know down below with a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the game, comment down below and we'll be happy to answer. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it helps us bring great content like this to you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you all next time.